you like that? I could have done a little. And you're on. Hi everyone, it's Vicky, Director of the Mind Body Food Institute, and welcome to our new coaching series where we are interviewing other coaches, other practitioners, complementary therapists to help you make the most of your training with us and to also give you some valuable insights, tools and resources to get your business up and running and make the most of your qualification. Today we have the lovely Sam from Essential Life Kinesiology, and we're going to be talking about the power of energy. Hello Sam, say hi to everybody and introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, hi guys. So privileged to actually be on with Vicky. She's a real hoot. We've just spent an hour trying to get my technology working so that we could rock and roll. Super excited to actually be able to share some of the stuff that I've learned, perhaps maybe the hard way, in my learning curve of being in a clinic as a kinesiologist / coach. So love what I do. Passionate about what I do, and if there's anything that I can sort of give you little hints of how to protect yourself, particularly how to protect your energy so that you've got more to give without losing your self-care, and that's my passion. So yeah, super excited. Been doing it for 10 years in a clinic, so yeah, love it still. So if I can share that so you can still love what you're doing in 10 years, awesome. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's excellent advice. If you're still doing what you love in 10 years, brilliant. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about, exactly, for the rest of my life. So what we're going to talk about today, everybody, is the power of energy, but particularly and very specifically, protecting your energies when you are working with the energies of your clients. So in any kind of helping profession, when you're working one-on-one with someone, whether it's in person or via distance, you are going to be exchanging energies alongside the information that's being put out there from both of you. So what we're going to talk about today is how to protect yourself, particularly if you are a highly sensitive person. And there are a couple of students in the course at the moment who are. So this is what we want to really focus on to help you protect yourself so that you're not left feeling drained or emptied or carrying the emotions of your client once you finish working with them in that session. So first off, let's ask the very, very important question, Sam. Why do we need to protect ourselves when we're working with clients?
Yeah, that's a big question, Vic. So why do we need to protect ourselves? Well, and I guess the thing that I often talk to people about, whether it's you're doing coaching or whether you're a business manager or whatever, is that for you to maintain your own energy, which is extremely important, we have to function from our own authentic energy. And if I call it sponging, that's the terminology that I would use. And I have a lot of clients that come who feel other people's energy. So it could be at work, could be at home, could be with clients. It doesn't matter where, it could be at the supermarket. But if you're feeling other people's energy and you're not protecting them, then you start to own it and it changes your behaviour, changes your patterns. It can change your ability to care and love, specifically for yourself. And I think that's one of the things that we lose, and it can happen. I worked with a client just yesterday, actually, that at birth they came into this world and then they started to actually, their whole world was facilitated through someone else's energy, and they didn't have that authentic energy for themselves as they sort of matured. So now, critically, there's some ill health and there's no self-care and da-da-da-da-da. So does that answer the question, Vic? I think that authentic, we really need to sit back and ask the question of why you're doing this. And obviously you're doing it because you want to help others and help yourself. And you need to protect yourself in that space to give yourself the most value, to give clients the most value. And if you're just projecting energy or you're feeling energy from others, then it's not coming from that space, I guess, of pureness, I guess. Is that making sense? I'm not exactly sure where everybody's at in the course, so it's really hard to, I'm a one-on-one kind of person, so to get the message across, so Vic, you come in and tell me if you want me to expand on any of that.
Yeah, I will. I know it's a big question to start off with. Why do we need to protect ourselves when we're working with other people? But I thought if we start with that question, we can sort of really set the scene for what we're going to focus on. And part of needing to protect ourselves is because energy is around us all the time. We are made of energy, and energy, emotions particularly, is energy in motion. And when you're working with people in this kind of profession, coaching or healthcare or complementary therapy, you're going to be working with people's emotions. Because when people want change, when they're dissatisfied, when they're stuck somewhere, they are going to be struggling with how they feel about themselves, their life, their relationships, their work, all of those aspects. So you're going to be working with those people and their energies. It's all in the complete package. You know, we're made of atoms and molecules. So I wanted to set it up that we need to protect ourselves when we're working with other people so that we can really focus on helping them to the best of our ability. And part of that is about being clear about our intention. So what are your thoughts on being focused on what our purpose is so that we can be very clear on our intention when we're working with people? And just to answer a question that you had just raised, this video is going to be released just prior to the very first week of practical coaching. So it's the very first time that the students will be exercising their coaching skills and working with a minimum of 3 people, coaching one-on-one, whether that's in person or whether it's over the phone or Skype. They're allowed to choose because all of those methods are what's used in modern coaching. So this is really to help set them up, whether they have previously been doing some work with people one-on-one or not, or if this is their very first time working with people in any capacity. This is designed to help them really be able to start with the right frame of mind, with the right intention, the right focus, and the right amount of self-care when they are creating their coaching relationship with their clients.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So what ran through my mind when you were speaking about that was, and I know initially, and when Vicky asked me to do this, I had to place myself back what it was like when I first started. And can I just maybe speak for a little bit about where a little bit of journey, and you might then be able to resonate with what I'm trying to get across. So when I first studied kinesiology coaching, I was actually quite a broke. I was healing, and I come from anxiety, depression, and an eating disorder. So that's not relevant now. However, in that healing phase, so much self-doubt, so much insecurity, didn't believe I could do it. So a lot of when I was studying and then starting in clinic was a real self-discovery. And so I feel like that space of protection is, guys, don't try to overdo yourselves. That's where ego comes in. It's not an intentional thing, but ego can come in there. So we go back to the explanation of intention. What is your intention of doing it? Like even when you start to do your first phase of coaching with 3 people, what's your intention there? Is it just about ticking off a workbook through Vicky, or is it actually about learning a skill? And when you come from the intention of learning a skill, it's a much clearer space. It comes from heart. And I work with a lot of chakras, and I can feel the heart chakra today. I said that to Vicky before we started, passionate about what I do. And we need to come from that space of passion. If we want to help people, we have to come from that space of passion, because otherwise, it's just you're a person there. So, but to do it and to do it well, you need to be in a space of pure, authentic, I'm here to help people, I'm here to facilitate, to be the tool, not a tool. Got that clear before, Vicky. Yeah, so it needs to come with love, it needs to come with kindness and empathy. But that protection, please don't forget to protect yourself. So 2 stories I will say that will help to resonate. When I first started at clinic, I attracted this, and I've been very blessed with attracting clients. And one particular young girl that came, and confidentiality, I won't tell the story, but she had lost her soul in a traumatic, terrible, terrible thing that had happened to her. And she blamed herself for the event that had happened. At that time, she was probably about 11 years old. And every time that client came to me, during the day. She might come a morning session, but by the end of the day, I would nearly be scratching my skin off. I was just so agitated, and I'd be driving home from clinic, big day, thinking, what have I reacted to? You know, and we often think that it has to be, oh, I've eaten cheese, or, you know, it's just a nutritional thing. But here, this response of mine, and probably after about 3 months, I recognised every time I worked with this beautiful girl with this sad, sad story, and she was recovering her life. So the trauma at 11, but I was working with her when she was about 18 or 19. And so what I wasn't doing very well was protecting myself, and that's what really triggered that whole concept of, oh my God, what am I doing? I can't afford to get this a reaction to her, because then ultimately during my day it got worse and worse, and then I'm not functioning at my best to be able to give to my clients. So that was one story. Another one was working with beautiful people that are very close to me, but I didn't feel like I was valued or I was receiving back. I would do it as a gesture, as a kindness and a no charge basis. And at the end of the day, I was nearly not functioning, nearly to the point where I couldn't drive home. So those two big things in my life really spoke to me about being in a space of protectiveness. And I am the tool. I am the facilitator. I'm not the fixer. And I think that's a clear space, clear message that I wanted to tell you guys today. Yeah. How's that, Vic?
That's awesome. That's awesome, Sammy. I think it's really important to share those stories, because hopefully they demonstrate the necessity to protect yourself. And also, particularly with the second story, which I imagine may have been with the close people around you, a lack of boundaries in wanting to be there to help them. And of course, when it's the people that you love the most and they're the closest to you, it doesn't feel good to see people we love in pain or to be struggling. So when they reach out to us, we naturally, particularly as helpers, we naturally want to be there to support them and use our gifts and talents to help them move through that pain or that challenge. But in doing so, we do risk not being valued for the energy that it takes from us to be able to do that for them. So I want to just talk about boundaries just for a minute here.
Can I just jump in there though, Vicky, before you do that? Yeah. In that area though, for my growth, I recognised it was my issue. Like, it was something that I really grew through that, because I didn't value myself enough. And if I really thought about it, I wasn't justifying myself, but I certainly wanted to prove myself. And that's not the space that Uprakki should come from, to be honest. And it's a growth thing, and it's just such a better space to come now with so many boundaries. Yeah, so you're very right. Sorry, I just wanted to interject there, because it's a real personal thing that you can grow through yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you said that, because the reason I wanted to just touch on boundaries for a minute is because getting to that point of valuing the service that you have to offer, because it's such a big thing for new coaches to be asking themselves, who am I to be offering this service, or to be charging a very low rate, or to do the free coaching, or to go overtime when time's finished. Because once you allow those things to occur, that's the boundary that's being set. And it generally does come from a place of not valuing yourself, not believing in your own worth, and the tremendous amount of guidance and support that you can give to people to help them through their challenges. So that's why I wanted to touch on what that really meant. Setting boundaries is about valuing what you have to offer. So you've already sort of explained that.
Yeah, and it does come back. It does come back to that intention again, though. If you can set a really clear intention of what you're offering, and be really clear in that intention, and try and set the boundaries around that intention. So it's a really big word, intention, though, and I'm sure you've spoken it with the students already. But we always need to have a focus and that purpose and that intention, and that is redefined all the time, isn't it? We redefine it probably every year when you sort of reset goals. Yeah.
Yeah. And the intention the intention to help other people isn't about fixing other people. And we do really go into that throughout the coaching modules. It's not our job to fix our clients. It's not our job to do the work for them. It's our job to support and empower and increase self-awareness for our client to discover their own answers, to discover their own pathway, and support them to take conscious daily steps towards moving towards that. So it's not about fixing anybody. It's about serving them in helping them, guiding them, supporting them. So that is part of the whole setting the intention. The intention is, what do I want to do? How do I want to do it? And how can I protect myself while I'm doing it?
So be very inspired in that. Be really inspired in that, though, because how amazing is it that you can actually assist and facilitate and be the tool with people? That is so awesome, guys. Really awesome. Yeah, but come from a space of protected. I insist. Yeah. Yeah.
Sam insists you must.
Okay, I do.
Let's talk about the power of energy for the moment, because that's what our coaching interview is today, to guide the students to really understand the energies that are at work while they're working with their clients and how that can impact them and affect them. So let's just talk a moment about the power of energy. And it's something that we're both pretty passionate about. So talk about, from your perspective, of the power of energy. What would you like people to know about the power of energy?
Yeah, energy. It's just amazing. So I've had a real flow, I guess, of a few clients that are new, fresh. They don't understand energy. So they come and, someone's bringing little Johnny, mum's bringing little Johnny, and she's just the most anxious little mum. And is he eating the wrong thing, or is he, drinking the wrong thing, or, is there too much sugar and stuff like that? And, it's less about all of that. It's more about the stress that he's stored that has affected his energy. So when we look at energy, particularly how I work, I suppose every practitioner works in a different way. The energy can affect our mind, mental capacity. It can affect our self-belief or not self-belief, which is often the way. It affects our emotions, our physical body, our spiritual body. And predominantly when we talk about the spiritual body, it's about us honouring us, us being okay with who we are, our unique self. And then we've got social, sexual, nutritional, and we go on, financial. But if the energy in the body is not flowing, and we work with meridians, each meridian has a specific flow. Liver starts from the toe, comes up through the legs, across to the sort of the side of the body, and then back up underneath the nipple. If there's a few blocks in liver where we're angry, or there's resentment, there's unhappiness, irritability, then that's stopping us from living fully on a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and a social body. So energy is very, very powerful. Energy within ourselves, but you can, if you're a spongy person, like Vicky said, there's a couple of students that are sort of can really feel others' energy, then their energy will impact on your energy. So it's like that resentment or irritability, hostility in liver. If that's someone else's that's very close to you and you feel it, then it starts to impact on your liver function, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially. And a big highlight in liver is actually the ability to change. If you want to change and you want your clients to change, we need that liver flow to be flowing as best it can on an energy level. So yeah, energy is just, it's so powerful. Like I don't know, it can inhibit us. You could store energy that's been blocked from a trauma. I had a trauma at 3 years old. My mother used to bake big mounds of biscuits for the church, or Girls Brigade or something or other. And I remember as a 3-year-old, I wasn't allowed one of those biscuits. And it came up in a balance of mine once when I was actually studying, and we pissed ourselves laughing. Sorry, I just swore. We cracked ourselves laughing, like, how ridiculous. Like, and it was a joke that I even came up with the scenario. But then when I went to the eyes of the 3-year-old and started to feel that in my body, I went, oh my God, that really made me feel worthless. So poor mother, she would have had another mound in the pantry of biscuits that she'd previously baked for her special family, but I wanted that because that seemed more important than than that pile. So that then set up a sort of an unworthiness in me. It's only one trigger, there's lots of little triggers, but that affected my energy and my self-worth as an individual, hence why I went through a traumatic period of anxiety and depression. So energy is really, it is powerful how we store it. We store, if there's been a shock in our body, we store it as a cellular memory, and that actually impacts on our ability to function and reach our full potential. So if we can clear those things, which you're learning how to do and assist people with, awesome. What a gift you can give to people and yourself. Yeah.
Thanks. There's lots of different ways to clear energy. What are your favourite ways?
Mine, well, I love assisting people with the kinesiology, but look, a lot of it's about bringing awareness up for clients. There's other people, prackies that work and they don't actually really tell the clients what they're working on. They just clear the stress. That's fantastic. I love to inform people. I love to make their awareness come up. And I think that would be, a fair swag of the healing. Through the kinesiology, though, there's certain reflex points and different techniques that we've learnt to help to clear that stored energy. So they might be acupressure holding points. They might be simply sedation or tonification of energy. There might be some surrogating happening. There might be, it just goes. I love chakras and I love meridian work. So for me, that's a great healing. I'll often, if I wake up at 3 in the morning, I go, what's going on? That's liver. Oh, yep, I need to do some liver work. So I'll flush a liver, different tools. Or the awareness of what's going on, I can actually work through that, which is part of the coaching side of it for people. Yeah.
Okay, so for coaches who are working with people where where emotions come up and they know that they're dealing with energy, and we have just recently in Module 3 looked at the different communication skills and techniques of observing when there are physical changes in the body, when there are verbal alterations, when talking about certain things, so that we can observe when those changes actually occur. So what would you say would be a good tool for a coach in helping people who are struggling with emotions that come up that they may or may not be energetically aware of?
Yeah, okay. So awareness is a really big trick in that, isn't it? Because you do work with people that don't have great awareness. Yeah, and we have that all the time. That's why I like to muscle test, because you get to actually get the story. However, feelings come really strong with that. So people feel, and if you can get them into a comfortable space where they're allowed to feel. So whether you're working one-on-one, whether it's Skype, just really get them into a really safe space. And let them just flow through their body. And you'd be surprised the number of people that go, oh, I can really feel that. So this morning I'm feeling heart stuff, and it's heart chakra. You've challenged me today, Vicky, because I'm not and you know that. And she's done it twice to me, guys. My God. But I love it, and it's come at the perfect timing for me, so I know it's right. And I'm passionate about it, and I want to share it. But I feel it in heart, because this actually makes me sing being able to share it. So I know there's some emotions in heart. In heart chakra and heart meridian, it's all about self-worth, self-love. So this is actually honouring my body and what I want to do, even though I find it quite challenging. So for me, if I was working with the client, that client was me, I'd get them to a space of heart and, get them to put their hand over that space. So, we talked before the video of the chakras, and I love them. And if you're not aware of chakras, start to explore that. Start to sort of delve into what does each chakra mean. Heart chakra is the ability to love self and others, which is a big thing when you're coaching. Again, we put that protection on you, though, so that you can continue to give. So with the feelings of body, you'll feel it somewhere. You'll feel it, it might be, I've got a pain in my ankle. Well, let's go to that feeling now. What is that feeling telling you? So there's different tools you can do then to clear it. And I think I heard you say this the other day, you do tapping with some clients, Vicky, I think. Yeah, so tapping's awesome. If you've ever looked at an emotional freedom technique, it's extremely powerful. Allow yourself to go to the feelings, allow yourself to feel them, but then you don't want to stay there. Make sure that you change that feeling. Keep tapping or whatever until you change the feeling to something. Oh, okay, well, I really felt angry in that situation. Well, hang on, I don't want to feel angry, so I feel calm, I feel peace, I feel centered again. And keep tapping until you start to feel that feeling change. That's fun, feeling. Tapping's really good. Visualization's awesome. You know, if you're trying to switch someone from a negative response, you know, and I guess that's getting the awareness up first. But again, go to the feeling and then start to visualize how you feel. Visualization is really, you're putting, again, it equals intention. I don't want to feel angry. Well, what's your intention? What do you want to feel? And I'll slip in there too a word that we often feel is powerless. So go from a powerless space of feeling my ankle's sore or my heart's whatever to, well, I don't want to feel powerless. I want to feel powerful. Powerful is a great space to come from as an individual, regardless of whether you're a coach. Yeah. So there's some really simple, like, first aid things that might be able to help. Just trying to think. They're things that I use a lot of without actually going into learnt techniques that you guys probably wouldn't know as yet. So they're really powerful. Yeah. And, you know, it's just you coming from you. You will attract a client that's right for you. Don't doubt that. Like, that's just the law of attraction. And I know Vicky would have talked to you about that. It's the law of attraction is like the clients that come to me, when I come from the highest intention of love and care, empathy, kindness, is that they come to me. So 6 other people will go to a different kinesiologist coach because I wouldn't be right for them. So people who come to you are for your highest good. So then you can come from a really clear space. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to be yourself.
That's a really powerful statement, really stepping into your own power and not proving anything, because you don't need to prove anything to anybody else at all. And in some respects, you don't need to prove it to yourself. You need to believe that you're already capable of being the kind of coach that you want to be. And part of that is using visualization, is really setting a very clear intention. Why do I want to become a coach? Who do I want to help? What are my biggest strengths and skills that I find it really easy to share with other people to help lift them up and see what's happening in their lives and to them and for them, which is really just increasing self-awareness. We're very, very big on increasing a person's self-awareness. We can't change what we are not first aware of. So self-awareness, developing that self-awareness in yourself, is then going to be such a powerful tool for you to then really teach your clients to delve deep and get to know themselves, increase awareness on what's happening for them. And touching back on a few things that you've just spoken about, feelings. Feelings are, for some people, very uncomfortable. The negative feelings can really be very heavy and weighty and can feel restrictive and keep a person stuck. And what I've found over the years is that we have a very limited vocabulary when it comes to expressing our feelings or identifying them, acknowledging them. We will either say, I'm good, oh, I'm stressed, I'm okay, yeah, I'm good, I'm happy today, or what have you. And we don't remember to see the other spectrum, or the other types of feelings within the spectrum, or the rainbow of emotions and feelings. So often a question that I really like to ask, which is another way of doing what you were just speaking about with people in identifying their feelings, is asking them, where do you feel that in your body, and what does it feel like? Maybe what does it look like? Does it have a color, shape, or sound to it? And touching that part of the body if necessary, becoming very aware of it, touching that part of the body, particularly when it's around the heart or chest area, or the stomach, around the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. They're wonderful areas to really put your hand over the top of and tune in, because your hand being there brings your attention there. And that's a great way to guide your clients into focusing inward to that body part and really asking themselves the question, what am I feeling here? What is this feeling? What's coming up for me? So that way they're learning to acknowledge and express what they're feeling. And then moving into how do you want to feel? Because people get so stuck on the problem and so stuck on what they want to change and what's not working and what's causing their pain. And part of creating self-awareness is being aware that they're doing that and then switching their mindset to, how would you like to feel instead? How would you like to be feeling in this area instead? What would you like to be doing or experiencing? And that's part of the process of helping them to shift their focus and attention, which helps to shift the energy. So I really like asking that question. Where do you feel it in your body? What does it feel like? What's coming up for you? Describe it for me. How would you like to feel in that area? And then we might do a visualization exercise, which is something that as we move through into stage 2, mind, body and neuroscience tools, we're very much going to look at the different mind body tools to help our clients to tune in, to become aware of what their body is experiencing in that moment, and using different tools in brain science and positive psychology and in the mind-body connection, really looking at the different ways that we can increase that connection and awareness to help shift energy. So visualization, I'm so pleased that you mentioned that, because it is an absolutely amazing tool as a mental rehearsal for the brain. But the other thing that you mentioned that I want to touch on that we haven't quite covered yet in the course that we are about to embark upon after practical coaching is not just the visualization of what someone would like in their life instead, or what they want to bring into their life or what they want to focus on, but also attaching a feeling to it to match that new vision of what they would like to achieve in their lives with the energy or vibration or feeling state that will match that vision, so that the brain, the energy, the different parts of the body and those associations in the body and the energy field, they're going to actually see it and feel it as you would like it to be, as you ideally would like your life to be, which is part of attracting more of that into your life instead of more of the stuff that you're stuck on or that you're weighed down by. So really important to bring that in. So I'm really pleased that you said that. Do you want to touch on anything I've just said?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, add to that, like, you know, with energy, if we focus on the negative feelings, that's what you attach to, and that's what you'll just get more of. And it feeds, it feeds. And, there's a lot of ill health and disease and depression and all that sort of stuff. And people lose sight. They don't realise that things can change. So, something that we can really offer to people is that, that little snippet of inspiration or empowerment that, it doesn't have to be like that in all areas of your life. Like, let's move that, start to attach to something a little bit more positive. Positive feeds. And I often talk about that, negativity feeds negativity, positivity feeds positivity. And so it's just creating a different energy in the body that we don't, if we've been surrounded all our life by negativity, it's the normal. They don't know that it can be any different. So that is a very empowering thing to be able to share with people. Yes, absolutely. Talking about the awareness though, I think when we come from a space with visualization, when you're working with people, visualization, you as a coach can actually do that visualization, and you can start to feel maybe where you'll be more aware of that person and what they feel as well. They may not be aware of that. You've got a good intention there to actually get to that layer for that person. So it's amazing how you can start to grow in that sort of coaching style too with visualization. Again, if you're protected, it's okay. And if you're worried about that, if you don't hold yourself back, just go with the intention that you are protected and that energy doesn't stay with you. Yeah, that's really important. Yeah.
Just on a personal note, when I'm working with clients, I find it very easy to protect myself. I don't particularly necessarily do anything especially different, but I don't know, what's your experience on this, Sam? Because this is something I've been curious about. A lot of people around me are very highly sensitive people. As we've mentioned, there's a couple of students currently going through this intake that are very highly sensitive people. And for me, I don't take on people's energy. I do feel very exhausted at the end of the day if I've done a lot of work and I've been working a lot one-on-one with people, but I don't feel like it's something that I'm carrying from other people. I feel it's just a general energy exhaustion because I've given so much out. But I don't tend to absorb things from other people very often. So what would that be? What's that natural sort of tendency to health?
Yeah, well, like when I shared those stories about me, it was really evident back. It was those two things were happening together. You know, it was at the same period of time when I realised, and it's not something that we were coached. This is where I really Vicky, you've got a great course going here because you're really giving tools. We were not coached on, you know, the emotional. Yes, there's emotions, but it wasn't specific. We weren't coached on how to protect ourselves, so we had to learn it the hard way. And, you know, once I'd set that intention up and, you know, like I've said, that was probably in the first year and this is year 10, year 11, I don't do anything. I don't need to set myself up anymore. I have the intention there that I am protected. I know that I cannot let that protection down because what will happen is I'll end up being sick or exhausted and you just get worn out. So again, that's an awareness of self and what you can give and what you can't give, even with the protection. Because, you know, like, you know, I've got a colleague that can see 10, 12 clients a day. I personally can't do that. So if he's in a beautiful protected state and can do that, awesome, well done. I can't do that. So it's a bit of an understanding of self. So I think it's I don't believe back then that I had that intention, Vicky. I think I was floundering in that, you know, for me, clinic just flowed. I worked at home, then I was asked to work in this clinic with other practitioners. I didn't, you know, it was just like bang, bang, bang. So my intention was just to be all things for all people. And that's a very ego-driven thing now that I recognise it and not such a good space to come from. I was still very good at what I did, and I don't say that in its ego thing. I just think I just really didn't know the intention. Once I set the clear intention, I'm the facilitator, I'm the tool that assists people. And I dare say that was my intention originally, but just sort of floundering, and I probably felt like I had to give so much to people for them to honour it. I don't have to do that now, so I don't know. To the point now when I work with people, and this is probably not a good quality, although to me I understand what my body does. At times I'll walk out from my treatment room into the reception area, and if someone's not there assisting me and I'm writing a receipt, sometimes I can sit there and go, who did I just work with? And so it's like I've gone, woo, and I've been able, it's just a tool that I use to sort of go, okay, that has completed. Because if I carried it on and I kept thinking about that client for 3 days afterwards, I'd be a mess. So, yeah, I think it's just going with that clear intention, and that's the best thing. There's lots of tools that you can use, guys, if you are super sensory and you're struggling with that initially. There's a bush flower mist, a bush flower essence, but it's a clearing mist. That's something that you can use before and after. I had a practitioner I was working with about 5 years ago. I'd finished with a client, and to be honest, I can't remember what I was working with. And she just said to me, "Are you okay?" And I went, "I'm great. I'm fine." And she goes, "No, you're not." And I went, "No, I'm not really. I feel really woozy." And so she came and sprayed me with this clearing mist, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm good now." So it's very powerful stuff. There's bush and bark flower essences. There's one, probably everybody is aware of those. doTERRA oils, there's protection oils in there. You know, use those sorts of tools if they might assist you. Do visualisation to protect yourself before. If you feel like you're feeling a bit flat after, make sure you just do some tapping after and say, I'm feeling peace, calm, whatever is resonant. You have to find that. You have to resonate with what you're working with there.
Okay, so you just mentioned a couple of great tools for people to protect themselves prior to working with a client. What about after? After when a client leaves? I mean, I walk my clients to the door if I'm working with them one-on-one. Otherwise, if it's Skype, well, obviously I'm just going to shut the conversation down and get up from the desk. But I find it very easy to switch off, and I think that's because my intention is to facilitate the client's awareness, their self-awareness, to get to know themselves, mind, body, spirit, emotions, and to help them to come to their own answers and make their own decisions so they feel empowered to reach their highest good or their highest potential. That's not my job. I don't take it on, and it's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to them while I'm working with them, but it's not to take on their stuff when they leave me. So I find it very easy when I finish close down Skype, stand up, or if I close the door after I've waved the client off, I find it very easy to turn around and I'm straight back focused on whatever it was that I need to be focusing on to continue my day. So for me, that's very easy to switch off because I know it's not my stuff to take on, it's the client's. So for people who aren't so easily able to switch off by client, focus on the next thing, what would you say would be a great tool or a couple of tools to help someone recenter, to shake off that excess energy they may have accumulated and to be able to move on in their own energies for the rest of the day or for the next client?
Yep. Yeah, it's a good space now, isn't it, Vicky, to come when you can just close the door. I always give my, females, not so much the males, but females, I always give them a hug, and that's kind of my...
Me too.
I send you off with blessings and love and light and all of that. However, that next stage of the journey is very much, think about what we've what the body's told us today, and that's a very empowering space. So, it's tricky, isn't it? Because I don't do it so now. So if I go back again, I would look at that bush space clearing mist. I think that's really beneficial. If you are someone that feels a lot of energy around you, that's probably something that you just need to have as a first aid. But again, on a personal level, I'd certainly be working on yourself or going to someone to help you through this period of your growing, where you can, change that, because we don't want you being a sponge. It's not for your highest good. If you do feel that if it's a consistent thing, you do need to sort of get some changes made, booking for a coaching session, learn tools of how to release it. Again, though, I'd be looking at some mist or does anybody in the group do bush or bark flower essences, those sorts of things, because they will all help to protect. But I think that, you're there to coach you, and this makes more sense. You're there to coach others, but you will grow every week you will grow. It's amazing what you work with, and it's amazing how after a month you go, wow, like what a rewarding month, and how much have you learned about yourself with different things. So that's an area where you can really grow to maybe not be so spongy of others' energy, I guess. Yeah, that hasn't really answered the question of what to do at that moment other than the bush space clearing mist. But it is about empowering you guys. It's empowering you guys to learn about your body. And if that is a stress, if you've taken it on as a stress, then you need to clear that stress. Yeah.
Well, have you heard of Christy Marie Sheldon?
No.
No. For those of you who haven't, Christy Marie Sheldon is an energy worker, and she also is doing some things affiliated with Mind Valley Academy, which is quite a large personal development online academy by Vishen Lakhiani. One of the techniques that she's suggested to clear the energy out of your space, so not necessarily yourself, but out of this space in the room, which I have employed a couple of times, and not so much for my clients always, but occasionally for the teenagers in the house. So what she suggested was to use a visualization technique where you imagine a purple tornado. And the purple tornado actually is to be imagined to come up from the earth underneath the space or underneath the house or the room or wherever, and to simply come up and be spinning this beautiful purple sphere of energy that will go to every single nook and cranny, every corner of the house, from the bottom to the top of the ceiling, and clearing, gathering up old or negative energies in the space to sweep it away. And I find that works really, really well. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, that's excellent. No, those sorts of tools are really good. And as you're telling that story, I've worked with some clients before where I've actually had to open up windows, just to let energy out, because, it's powerful. Energy is really powerful. And one guy, I remember, I opened the window and said, I'm out. And I walked out of the room. And when I walked back in, he said, what was that? I went, weird shit, but we had to get rid of it. So, and he was so open to it. He sort of understood it, and he had, he had some stories. But, that's about awareness, isn't it? Again, it's being aware of when that's coming at you and when you're not comfortable. But if we, again, I guess getting back to the foundation of what we've talked about too with the protection, yes, we do have to clear that space. We do have to clear the energy that maybe we feel is leached onto us. But again, keep working at that awareness level of being protected so it doesn't come, being aware of when it is there and you need to clear it. So for me that day, it was about opening the window, letting that energy out of there while I walked out of the room and let the energy do it. Energy is so powerful, it can heal itself. And don't forget, guys, we have that innate ability to heal ourselves, and awareness is a really massive thing there. So, yeah, no, I think all of that is really beneficial. It's finding what works for you. Remember, we're all unique. We're all individual, and that's perfect. That's as we've been created that way for a reason. And it's finding, like, for me, I don't necessarily need to do any of those tools anymore. And that's not an ego thing. It's just I probably hold a very protected space. And sometimes that protection can be too heightened. Sometimes I have to actually release the protection because I come home to a very kind, gracious husband and 3 kids, and I have to sort of then participate fully. So, yeah, it's the finding the balance street, girl. It's finding what works for you. I feel like this group, I think that bush space mist and clearing mist would be really beneficial for some of it, because it's actually, sometimes we want to have that assurance, and if we spray that, then we know that, okay, that's really helped me, I'm more centered now. And that's exactly the space we want you to come from, is the centered, grounded, and that sits very much in our solar plexus, right in our middle. And Vicky did have, and she might show you whether it's today or another day, a chart there that's got the different chakras. So the solar plexus is a space where we feel very centered and grounded, and we come from that space when we're working with people. It's just a beautiful space to come from. It's unique, it's authentic. It's there's no ego in it. There's it's no negativity. It's all positive. And if you still feel that sponge, then definitely find a tool that works for you. And I would say that bush space clearing mist. I've only used it twice, but it might work for those that really take on stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, just to show you all, here's a little chart here of the 7 chakras. Now, there are believed to be a couple more than that, but here are the main ones that people would probably recognize. As you can see, it starts from the base, the root chakra, and it goes all the way up to the crown. And the one that Sam was just referring to is actually the 3rd one up. And the solar plexus, or Manipura chakra, is just above the navel area, below the chest or below the heart. So in between the navel and the heart. And as you can see there, its focus is energy, desire, power, vitality. There's a couple of stones there that are very helpful and useful for that energy center, and it's the color yellow. So that's the one that Sam was just referring to, which is an almighty, very powerful chakra. And to be able to have the higher chakras actually functioning and moving as we want them to, we need to make sure that we're feeling very safe at the root and working our energies upward. But we might do, it is something that people ask me quite a lot about chakras and energy, because they do have sounds and words and resonating energy with those sounds that correspond with different musical notes as well. And the way that I teach it is I put them all together, and it's quite a unique little way of understanding them to really tune into them. So I have had some requests to put a workshop together that's online. So I think we might actually start doing that. Just on clearing the energy, one thing that I found that's really worked for me, that I've had no problems actually doing with clients on occasion. If I've had a client that's come in and they've just been this ball of massive stress, and they're carrying a lot of rushed, tense, chaotic kind of energy around them, I have literally got them to stand up and shake their body out, to shake it off, a little shakedown or a shake out, shake it off. That song from, what's her name? Taylor Swift, you know, shake it off, shake it. So I have actually done that with my clients and then asked them to do some really nice deep diaphragmatic breaths so that they are centered and they feel better before we start the session, so that that's not going to impact me, but it's actually going to make them feel better within the first few minutes so that we can really help them stay focused and become more aware of what was that when you first walked into the room. I've also been known to take clients outside barefoot and stand on the grass and ground themselves with the sun. And as we discovered after Module 2 webinar, we were doing a couple of energy exercises from Donna Eden, who's a pioneer of energy medicine. So there's so much out there for you to learn about and incorporate. And part of it's just experimenting and awakening yourself to your own physical energy and what you're creating with your thoughts and feelings and emotions that's resonating within your body, and maybe things that you're holding on to or attached to. And specifically, as this video will be released for the practical coaching, you've just come off the back of stage 1, all the coaching foundations and the different ways of observation and communication. And part of that has been to learn how to protect yourself from working with clients that may challenge you, to really be clear about certain themes, topics, belief systems, ethnicity, backgrounds. Will I have an issue with them? If someone challenges my belief system, can I be neutral and allow that person to believe in their own doctrine without feeling like I've been attacked or uncomfortable or that I want to retaliate or set them straight? So that's part of protecting your energies, is from the get-go deciding who are the people that you want to work with and who maybe that you might feel triggered by. So having that clear intention then prevents a lot of that association, because we can't help everybody. We can't help everybody. It's not our job to. So that's part of your intention. As I think would be a really great tool to leave everybody with, Sam, is to ask them to sit down, maybe breathe into their belly and come to a nice state of inner calm, inner peace, and really sit with the question, what is my intention as a coach, as a healthcare practitioner, as a mind-body practitioner, as a healer, whatever your other modalities may be. And whether you've been in this line of work for a few years, whether you're new to coaching, whether you are new to the whole profession of healthcare and you're coming from a completely different area, just being clear or re-clarifying what your intention is now at this stage in your life, with who you would like to work to, who you would like to work with, how you would like to help them, and what you would like to serve. It's not about what we can get out of it, it's about what we can give. But part of that giving isn't just to our clients, it's also giving to ourselves, which is part of our protection from the beginning. Anything you want to add on that to finish on, Sam?
Oh, no, just as you're speaking there, you know, guys, you've been led to do this course for a reason. So, you know, just function from your unique, authentic self. Like, there's no mistakes how you got there, there's no mistakes with what you've gone through to get there. And when you come from that space, it's just beautiful. You have clear intention there, because, you know, we all go through things. You know, we could be at the supermarket and we smile at someone and you've just made their day. It's just a clear intention, isn't it, of being kind, empathetic, you know. But yeah, just love selves, love others, guys, you know, just go for it. But yeah, be protected, be aware of energy and grow in it. Just allow yourselves to grow. Yeah, it's really just be inspired, be empowered. It's awesome. It's great. Yeah. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks so much, Sam. Thanks for being here, sharing your wisdom and your passion of energy and working with people and clients in that framework. For anybody who wants to find you, where can they find you? Social media?
Yes, so best way is mobile phone, because technologically I'm quite challenged, as Vicky's found out. So Essential Life Kinesiology, I'm on 106B West Street behind Burrum Chiropractic. I do offer remote distance work as well, so it doesn't have to be in clinic. And I am on Facebook under Essential Life Kinesiology. Contact me there. So yeah, love what I do, and my whole focus of my business is about educating people, so awareness, inspiring and empowering. And we don't want people just to feel mediocre, we want people to feel amazing. So, you know, it's very empowering what we do. Yeah.
I like it. We want people to feel amazing.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. I'm so pleased that you've overcome one of your little fears to get out there. to not only do it with technology, but to speak up and share your enthusiasm and your wisdom and your experience. Thank you so much for being a part of this series. Now, Sam, actually, everybody, is a part of our Holistic Coaches Light the Way Facebook group, our private Facebook group, where our other coaches, trainers, practitioners, teachers are all a part of a very supportive community in that private Facebook group. So Sam's actually part of that group. So if you do have a question after watching this video, if you've got a comment or a suggestion, or if you want to share something, please pop in there, tag either one of us and ask your question, share your experiences, let us know what you've tried, what's worked, what hasn't, because it will definitely help the other practitioners, coaches, teachers in the group. And that's part of the sharing process, is letting each other know what we've discovered, what we've learned about ourselves, and how it may possibly help them to help our clients. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, helping our clients. So thanks so much again, Sam, for being here. We hope you've enjoyed this next addition to our coaching series throughout your Holistic Life Coach Mind Body Practitioner Training Certification. And we look forward to seeing you progress throughout the course and hearing your feedback on your practical coaching experience coming up very soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Sam, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Okay.
I thought of that bad stuff.